if you understand that.
You could face further time in jail if you're convicted of these offences, a long time in jail. You were in jail earlier this year. What was that experience like for you?
Jail was, you know when you're going through something really difficult and it's almost unbearable, whether it be a difficult gym session or, you know, a major setback, and you come out after it's finished. And the moment it ends, you're like, yeah, I'm glad that happened. Jail was hell every single day. But the moment we got that phone call saying a judge who's now seen the evidence that they've allegedly raised against you has decided to release you, I was very happy for the experience. I'm very happy I spent 3 months living in those conditions.
What did you find out about yourself?
I didn't find out anything new. I feel like it was my opportunity to show to myself and to my brother and to the world that I am the man who I say I am. I always preach being mentally strong, physically strong. You know, I put on this tough guy persona, but I don't think it's a tough guy persona, because if I can survive 3 months in a Romanian prison without incident, without tears, without being upset.
You didn't shed any tears?
I did not in jail.
Did you know that Andrew had?
I believe that Andrew's tears were tears of anger. He was more angry than I was. Whereas me and Andrew are very balanced. We have a very balanced relationship. We keep each other in check. When he's angry, I calm him down. When I'm angry, he calms me down. I believe Andrew was a lot angrier at the situation. Andrew knew a lot less about the situation. I can at least read some Romanian. I was trying to make sense of it all. He was sitting there in pure frustration.
But they're serious criminal charges.
Well, they're serious criminal charges. But what I would say to you is, what is the serious criminal evidence? So again, this is from I'm going to work this for hours. It's about a girl cleaning my house, by the way. So this is the big bombshell. The BBC, because I don't know how they got the indictment, but the indictment should be private. I'd love to give you a copy. I really would. But the criminal indictment isn't what the prosecutor says I've done. It's the evidence against me. So if the BBC have read their grubby little fingers through all of this evidence and all the files, and the worst thing they have to come at me with is, Tristan, you said this girl's your slave. I've said that. I've said worse things.
Have you ever coerced women?
No, I've never coerced anybody into doing anything they don't like.
Do you accept that, I mean, as I said to Andrew, that some of the language, even in the things he tweets now, suggests that his idea of how women should be treated is that they effectively are a form of slave to a man?
You know, Piers, I really like you, and I sometimes feel you fall for Andrew's little traps, and it's really wonderful to watch, because it's not the things he says. It's the way he says them, and the way he says them can get people very riled up. When I was sitting listening to your interview about women shouldn't work and be taken care of, etc., it actually took me back about 12 or 13 years to an interview I saw, I can't remember, I think it was on ITV, with the late Christopher Hitchens. You probably knew him.
I did.
I did not know Christopher Hitchens. I think he died way before I became relevant. But he was sitting there with this female journalist, and he's saying, his exact words were, oh, I don't want Mrs. Hitchens to be coarsened in the labor market. Why would I want my women coarsened in the labor market? No, if she's with me, she can work if she wants, but she doesn't have to. Now, he was not labeled the world's biggest misogynist. He was actually hailed as an intellectual in his time. I read all of his books. I used to be a big fan of his. But he said exactly the same thing Andrew said. Exactly the same thing, with different intonations and different tones. And you probably knew him. You didn't attack him back then for saying that, did you? But Andrew,
well, I'm not here to judge.
He could get people riled up.
Christopher Hitchens is no longer with us, sadly. He was a brilliant man in many ways. I disagree with him about many things, but he's not why I'm here, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it just seems to me that the rhetoric, particularly by Andrew, but also some of the stuff they found with you, the way that you talk about women may be part of the problem you found yourselves in here. And from Andrew's recent tweeting, there's no sign to me that he is aware or self-aware of quite how some of this stuff comes over.
I understand.
And that maybe that has been part of the problem here with you guys.
Well, again, when you look at Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate and you try to label them misogynists, you gender the argument. If I were accused of anything else and they were to read the conversations, which they did read, by the way, between me and my friends, the insults we give each other, the threats we make to each other.
Do you think a woman's place is at home serving her man?
No. I believe my woman's place is at home serving her family. I serve my family.
But she shouldn't go to work.
She wouldn't have to if
she
didn't want
to.
If I wanted her to and she wanted to, and we agreed as a family.
If you wanted her to.
If we agreed as a family.
What if you don't want her to, but she does?
Well, in the same way that if I was working a normal job and I got a promotion, that would mean that I move out of the city, or we move as a family. We'd sit there and discuss it as a family. I don't believe that there's one rule for every single family. I don't see.
Yeah, but Andrew does.
I don't see in the future my woman working, no, because I think I could take care of my woman and I could take care of my family.
You wouldn't be. I don't think you'd be with a woman who wanted to work, right?
I've been with women who worked.
And how did that go?
Wonderfully.